This man has been sentenced to so many years in prison that I don't think he'll ever see the light of day, but it didn't have to be this way. This victim didn't have to be victimized by this man. He could have been in prison a long time ago. I am disgusted just reading about this case, so buckle up. This is about John S. Walton. It is a charge from Craighead County. It appears that in July 2024, a girl was playing at her friend's house. She was 13 years old. She was playing at her friend's house. They were swimming in the pool. She looks over while she's in the pool or, in the pool area and sees the friend's father playing with himself. A little while later, she is in the house waiting to change out of her swimsuit, and John Walton playfully pushes her head. So she pushed him back, but she took off running and ran into the bathroom where she was able to slam the door. She stayed in the bathroom for a moment and then she looked out of the bathroom to see if John Walton had followed her. And when she opened the door, he pushed his way into that bathroom. He forcefully kissed her, pulled her down on the floor, forcefully touched her in many ways. At one point, his daughter, John's daughter, saw him kissing the victim and tried to push her way into the bathroom, I'm assuming to help the victim, and John Walton slammed her out of the bathroom. It all eventually ended when John Walton's wife was able to force her way into the bathroom, separate the victim from John Walton, and push John Walton into the bathtub. Everything came to light when the victim called her mom, had her mom come pick her up, and then police were contacted after that by the victim's family. But this didn't have to happen because John Walton has multiple instances where he was accused of doing inappropriate things with minors that were around the age of this victim. In 2008, in Crittenden County, John Walton was charged with rape of a 12-year-old. I don't know what happened to those charges, but he obviously wasn't found guilty. He was accused of sexual indecency with a child in 2012. The victims in that case were 10 years old. I can see that in 2016, he was charged with 4 counts of sexual indecency with a child in Crittenden County, and those charges were all dropped. So I'm guessing that it is about the same incident. And then he was accused in 2016 of SAing another 10-year-old. So I can't say why the charges were dropped in any of those cases, but I can say this. Anytime you have a person that has multiple accusers that don't know each other, don't know anything about the accusations of the previous victim or alleged victim in the case, accuser in the case, and they come forward with accusations of their own, you have to really take a look at that, because what are the chances, right? What are the chances that multiple kids have came forward over all of these years and they're all lying, but he's the one person that's telling the truth? Because I call BS on all of that. But in the current case, he was charged with rape, second degree SA, and sexual indecency with a child. He had a jury trial and he was found guilty. So John Walton was sentenced to 40 years in the Arkansas Department of Corrections on the rape charge. He was sentenced to 20 years on the second degree SA charge, and he was sentenced to 6 years on the sexual indecency with a child. And there's also a 10-year enhancement on the rape charge, as well as a 10-year enhancement on the SA charge. So if you add all of those together, because they are to run consecutively, that is 40, 10, 20, 10, 6, which works out to 86 years in the Arkansas Department of Corrections. But none of this had to happen. It didn't have to happen this way. This victim did not have to be victimized, but for the fact that Crittenden County dropped so many charges. They dropped the ball so many times, and I don't know why, but they did.